So I'm trying out something very new today, which is this format of a mic. I always have a hand mic. As you can see, it's not very comfortable for women in saris. And I really hope one of you are going to devise something which is going to be much, much more comfortable than any of the mics that exist today. Okay, I think it's a fantastic segue from Prachi's section to this, which talks about seizing the future. We're talking about opportunities, and I want to talk about a LinkedIn message that came to me last week, inviting me to be a speaker at an event which was outside of Bangalore. Well, the date didn't work out for me, so I told the person I can refer some speakers because there's always, so many speakers available looking for these opportunities. So I'm part of myriads of WhatsApp groups, but a couple of WhatsApp groups which has speakers, facilitators, trainers, coaches, and there are many women who, and sorry men, but I'm very partial to women. I will pass on opportunities only to women, okay? So there are many women who reached out to me in the past and said, we would like to be a speaker. How do we get this opportunity? So I messaged on these two groups and to those women, here's an opportunity if you'd like to speak. Immediately, I got a response from one of the ladies, a DM. She said, I can do that. So I said, sure. Can you send me your speaker portfolio, bio profile? Because while I would know most of them to some extent, I think it is important for me to also present them to the requester in the right way. So she said, yeah, sure, I'm outside now. I will send you my bio by 6 p.m. today. I said, okay. In a couple of minutes, I got another person's DM saying I could use that opportunity, and I said, what? Can you send me a speaker portfolio? And in 2 minutes' time, it was in my WhatsApp. So I just sent it across to the requester. It reminded me of a day when I was out shopping with my daughter in the afternoon, about 2:30, and I got a call from someone. The number was not known. And he said, I got your referral from XYZ. There's an opportunity to speak at one of the big tech firms. Would you like to? Now, who's going to say no to it? So I said, sure. So he said, what did he ask me for? My speaker portfolio, right? So I said, can I take about a couple of hours because I'm in the middle of nowhere now? And he said, they're waiting, which is signal enough to say, I should be very quick. So I said, okay, I'm in the middle of the road. Can I just take 10 minutes? I'll park myself in a corner, and then I'll do it. So I went and I rested myself in a restaurant, and I didn't have my laptop or anything with me. I had my phone. I went through, because I'm sure I would have sent my speaker profile to somebody somewhere, so I was going through my WhatsApp groups, I was going through my emails, I was going through the documents, and I had many versions of my profile. When I say many versions, I update my speaker profile every month. Why? Because there's something new that's happening every month. For example, I will have to put that I spoke at the Rising in my March version or the April version of my portfolio. So I started looking, and I found the most recent one, and I sent it across to him. So he said, what's your quotation? So I had to be very quick, and I gave him a number. And the next day, I got a call from him saying, you're on. Okay? So what I want to talk about is, opportunity doesn't make appointments with anybody. You have to be ready when it arrives, exactly like how you are ready. With your boarding pass, with your passport, with your packed suitcase, and you don't tell someone, okay, I need 5 hours to pack my suitcase to travel to take this opportunity. Now, this lady who said, I will send you the profile by 6 p.m., it's been a week, I have not received her profile yet. Okay. Now, continuing on this, by evening, I'd got another message from this lady who said, I would like to take this opportunity, and of course, I said, send me your speaker profile. She said, yeah, give me a bit of time, because I want to tweak it a little, and then I'll send it to you. How much time do I have, she asked me. And I said, now. Because I know I've been sending across profiles since morning, since afternoon, right? And why am I doing that? Why am I not waiting to collect all profiles for 6 hours and then send it? Because if the requester had reached out to me and I declined it, obviously she's not only going to bank on me to give a referral, she'll be looking out for others, and the opportunity will be gone in no time. Opportunity doesn't make appointments. Well, she didn't respond, but by 8 p.m., I had her speaker portfolio. And I opened it. Of course, I will take a look at it before I send it across. And I have to say, it definitely looked very, very attractive as compared to the other portfolios that I had been seeing since morning. Okay. The one that I got first had about 10 lines, all text. Here there were some pictures, and definitely more attractive. What does being attractive mean? I don't know if this speaker is better than the other speaker. I don't know if the content reads better here or there. I don't know if this person's delivery style is any better, their subject matter expertise is any better. But people will make judgments before you even speak based on how you look. And I'm not asking you to go to a beauty parlor every time you have to come on stage or present yourselves, but you've got to present yourselves professionally. Okay. And while we may say, do not judge the book by its cover, I think we do pick the book looking at the cover, unless we know a particular author or a title that's already been referred to us. So that's your foot in the door. So those of us who've been mothers to kids, does that sell? Or does this sell? Right? So can we just make it a little bit more appealing, attractive, yourself and your digital presence, because today is the digital world. So today is going to be a day of stories. Neerja is a storyteller. My mother, she's been visiting a dentist in the last couple of months because she's now decided she wants a pair of dentures. So we actually found another dentist, not the one that we usually go to because it's a more complicated procedure. She wants to retain some teeth, knock off some teeth, and then, fix the pair of dentures. So I've been going with her every sitting, and one of those days I had a problem with my tooth. So I thought instead of going to my regular dentist, I'm anyway going with her, let me visit this lady. It's a lady. And I showed her my teeth, and she told me what the procedure she has to do. And my question to her was, can I speak after this? In the sense that I have so many speaking gigs in the month of March, I hope I'll be able to speak. So she said, oh, I never asked you what you do as a profession, as a career, right? So I said, I'm a speaker. I do train, facilitate, coach, and I am on public stages. She got very curious. She's, I think, around 30. She said, who do you train, and what do you train on? Now she just got me started, right? So I told her about the audiences of women and sometimes men. Thank you for attending this session that I speak to, about all the mindsets that we have, about career growth, aspirations, ambitions. And she was so curious, and she had her own point of view to this. Now, she spoke about biases that she has faced as a woman in the dentistry field. She's a new mother to a 4-month-old, and she chose to come back to work in 45 days, and she said, how does the society look at that? And she said, but this is my first baby, the clinic. So I have to come back here, right? I'm a happy mother, and I'm a happy person, professional, and hence I'm a happy mother. And she continued on all of this, which was not necessarily so new. I mean, I've heard this enough and more times from industry professionals, technology professionals, educationists. I myself speak about it. But what was new was hearing it from a dentist. You sometimes don't associate that field to have similar notions or a perspective on these things. And while she was doing her job, in my head, I was thinking, the next time somebody asks me for a speaker, I think I'm going to refer her. Because it's a very different perspective that she is bringing from an industry that many of us may not have really thought of and, heard of. Did she think that she's going to be invited to be a speaker because of all this conversation? No. And hence, treat every interaction that you have with anybody as an opportunity. And to narrate a story, so I finished up with my corporate stint in 2017, and at 2018, I went to head the jobs for her foundation. Now it's called Herky. And I'm on many WhatsApp groups, I already admitted. So on one of those women entrepreneur groups, I saw there was a message from Saras, I didn't know her then, who said, we're going to do a Women's Day event, and in the place where the event is going to be held, there's going to be space for stalls to be put up, like we have outside. So she was just inviting the women entrepreneurs on that group if some of us wanted to put stalls. Now that sounded very interesting to me because we were just starting our foundation. So I thought maybe we could use that stall space. So I messaged her to say I want to know more, and we got onto a call, and we spoke about what I do in the foundation. And she said, I would like to come and meet you tomorrow along with my co-founder. I said, sure. And both of them came. The co-founder is also a lady. And we spoke about everything under the world except the stalls, okay? Because we found so many synergies in the work that they do and the work we were hoping to do as a foundation. And we agreed that, we will get together and do a few things. So they went back. The next evening, she messaged me, and she said, will you be a speaker at our event? And I was wondering, where is this coming from? Because till 2017, I was in the corporate spaces, and I have never addressed public audiences. The max I would have done as a leader is, address my town hall meetings. Maybe we didn't have too many conferences, or maybe my company didn't think I was good enough to address, public conferences, and still she's inviting me to be a speaker. Like, from where? Why? Of course, all those, demons in the head did trigger and say, what, Nirja, say no. But I said yes. That's not the story here. The story is 2018, I spoke at her event, and we stayed connected over the years. We may have done some collaborations, but personally also we stayed connected. And in 2022, she messaged me again. And she said, Nirja, I've been invited to speak at a TEDx event, and they are looking for another speaker. Will you come? Who's going to say no? And there was my opportunity to be on TEDx. Thank you. Who would have thought a conversation about stalls would get you a TEDx opportunity? And hence I say, treat every interaction as an opportunity. Okay, moving on. So me and my daughter Sneha, who's sitting right here, some of you may know her, we attend a lot of conferences together. We attend together. Sometimes I'm speaking, she's attending. She's speaking, I'm attending. We both speak together, all formats possible. So at an event last year, I think, where both of us went together as an attendee, we broke up at lunch, and she had her networking going on, I had mine. Post that, we wanted to get together because we had listed out the sessions that we wanted to be sitting in together. She was looking out for me. She was with someone else, and she was looking out for me. The person she was with asked her, who are you looking out for? She said, I'm looking out for my mother. And that person asked her, are mothers allowed into conferences? And I'm thinking, she told me this later, I'm thinking, why would someone even ask that question? Like, what is going on in your mind? What is that bias which is making you even ask that question? Maybe the person has not seen mothers who may not be educated, maybe. Educated but not working. Educated working but not attending conferences. Educated working, attending conferences but not attending conferences with daughters. Whichever way, there's a bias which is kicking in, right? Now, going back to the story of that opportunity where I was looking for a speaker to refer, the next day, there's a lady who messaged me and said, Nirja, I can take this up. However, because it is outside of Bangalore and I'll have to travel, on the same day my husband also has to travel. So if I were to go for this, my child will accompany me. Is that okay? I said, I'll figure this out, I'll ask them, but I was so thrilled that she asked me this question. How many of us even ask? We have all these reasons and doubts and excuses which are kicking in to say, oh, I don't think I can do it because somebody has to look after my child, or somebody else, so there's a guest coming in, or something else has happened in our lives because of which we say no to the opportunity, or it's not the right time. Why am I saying this? So yeah, you can see, okay, this is supposed to work, and I'm going to embarrass my girl. You see Sneha over there. This was the first conference that she attended. I was speaking. She was in a 10th grade, I'm assuming. I will tell you the story of why she came to the conference sometime later. But she came, and like a good student, she's taking notes. She'll be doing that today also. But I think that was her first fantasy moment of having seen stages and speakers. And I'm guessing it must have done something to her, must have inspired her, must have told her, made her feel that I must attend more conferences for the learning and for the networking, but also maybe to speak. Yeah? And hence we continued on our journey, and we continued on our journey. And as Tanya Dalton says, we need to challenge ourselves to seek out the unfamiliar and overcome the implicit biases. These are our unconscious biases. Can mothers attend conferences? Can I take a child to the conference? Or anything else? But I'm saying that girl who came to the conference in 10th standard, because of this journey, what happened to her? She got an opportunity to be on TEDx last December. So can we just put out those biases in from our head to say, this is not the way it works. What will somebody think? I've never seen things like this working. And go for it. The other thing that I want to talk about is, there are many, many people. Now, I don't know why that lady who said 6 p.m., her resume has not come to my WhatsApp yet, but so many women who come to me and say, I would like to do something. Either, it's a core job or it is a volunteering. There was someone who put me across to another lady who's in the cybersecurity space, and she wants to kind of spread awareness about cybersecurity through whatever means possible. Okay? It's in her way of giving back. This was in September. So I had a call with her. I understood what she does. And then, of course, I said, give me your profile, because how else can I represent you to the many, many platforms that I know of? She said, sure, give me the weekend. I'll give it to you. Weekend passed. She messaged me, and she said, I think I have to work a little more on this resume. Give me a week. A week passed. And in February, she messaged me, and she said, Nirja, she had hundreds of questions on whether she can put her picture on the profile, whether she can do this, she can't do this. She says, I'm still thinking how to build this resume. So I said, yeah, take your time if you need to take time. But the point is, why do we procrastinate? An opportunity doesn't wait for you. So there is a fear of failure. We have too high lofty goals. We are wanting to be so perfect. We are very, very critical of ourselves, unrealistic, standards for ourselves, because of which it is a lost opportunity. So quoting Sheryl Sandberg, I'll be done, 2 minutes, I think I'll be done. Done is better than perfect. I think some of you heard me say this yesterday also. 80-20 rule works. I think now 60-40 will also work. If you're 60% there, go for it. And finally, a story of how I am here on this stage today. So many years ago, it was exactly 2016, a year before I quit from the corporate, my company asked me to put out a recommendation to hire women on a career break. Then it was new, this aspect of women on a career break, and let's bring them back. I didn't understand it at all because I had never taken a career break, but because my company asked me to put out this recommendation, I did some searches, and I attended, that was a conference that I attended for women on a career break, which is when I realized that it is not easy for these women. I think we've come a long way. Things are much, much, much better today. I sometimes even say that today, if you need a job, you take a break and then come back. Maybe chances of you getting hired are better. I know people will debate with me outside, but definitely then it was an unknown thing. And when I heard these women who spoke about their experiences of even getting to an interview, and if they got to an interview, then the questions that were asked to them, not about their past experiences, but about the break, I mean, it just did something to me, and I told myself, I have to do something about it. I didn't know what I could do, but I told myself, I have to do something about it. And in that search, and if you are a believer of the universe giving you what you ask for, in that search of I want to do something about it, I saw this opportunity that Jobs for Her had put out. They were looking for ambassadors. So ambassadors were women who had taken a break and used their platform and found it useful to spread word about it. I was not on a break. I was not contemplating taking a career break. But I said, I want to do something, right? So maybe this is the best thing that I can do. I'll be an ambassador. Let me go around telling the women that here is a platform. They welcomed me, of course, very happily. And from there, I went on to become a mentor on their platform. I volunteered for their very first event, the Her Rising, which was called Restart Her then. I went to head the Jobs for Her Foundation after that. And when I was in that role, people started inviting me to give talks, not because I'm Nirja, but because I headed the foundation. And when I started speaking on stages, people said, it really created an impact because I narrate stories from my own life, which people are able to resonate, and they feel, if you could do it, then I can do it. They were, kind of actionable insights that they were finding. And I thought, if that's what a story can do, I must do more of this. And I got on to doing what I'm doing today, which is mentoring, coaching, and running my own training programs. And hence, if you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, you don't ask what seat. Just get on it. So I want to do something. I said, I'll be an ambassador. And here I am today, speaking to you all and doing a myriad other things. So to summarize, time's up, but yeah, summarizing, how do you seize the future? Be ready, always, everywhere. Resume, or whichever way. Presentation matters. You as a person, as well as your digital presence. Interact every time and with everyone, including the people sitting in this room, as if there is an opportunity coming your way. Identify your own biases, plenty of them exist, and find ways to overcome them. Act now rather than wait for the right moment, because there is no other right moment than now. And finally, grab every opportunity. And can you just create an opportunity for yourselves and seize the future? Thank you. And you can please connect with me on LinkedIn.